everybody. It's LaTasha Do'zia with Selah Theater Project. I'm here with another cast conversation, and this time we have Corinna Taylor and Eric Lee Santaful on for cast conversations from our cast of Terms of Endearment. We just finished our first weekend of shows, May 20th through the 22nd, and now we're heading into our second weekend, May 27th through the 29th, where tickets are still available for this wonderful, heartwarming, breathtaking cast and story. I want to bring Corinna Taylor on, who is playing the role of Patsy, the best friend of Emma Horton. And Corinna also plays many other roles. We actually call her roles the slut roles, but she plays love interests all over the place, bless her heart. And then we have Eric Lee Santaful, who has graciously stepped in for Rudyard and Dr. Mays. And without these two, a lot of moments really would not have been connected in the story. So I'm really, really grateful for them and so excited that they get to have a conversation with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them onto the stream. Hi, Corinna. Hi. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello.
So this is our third cast conversation for Terms of Endearment. We did one with Paige and Bo, who play Aurora and Emma. And then we had a second one with Richard and Jacob Reed, who play Garrett Breedlove and Flap Horton. And now we have you two on. And you're the last of the ensemble to come on. And so we're so happy to have you. We're just here to have a casual conversation about the process of being an actor and doing such of a story, which we call it the hook and bait kind of story, where there's a lot of laughter at the very beginning, and one particular moment where we do have the pack of tissues out there for our audience members. So you guys, anybody can start. Corinna or Eric, please tell me what it has been like for you to be a part of this ensemble.
I think it's been really great. Like a lot of these people, like a lot of the castmates I have been wanting to work with for a while now, especially like Paige and Eric, who I've seen in previous shows before. And then working with Jacob Reed again has been such a fun time. Like doing any show with Jacob Reed is always going to be like a really good time because he's just so funny to work with. And then working with Bo, who's new, has been really great as well, to have another like girl my age doing this show as well.
We have a running joke in Selah that you're not an ingenue unless you've been killed off. And so Corinna has been killed off in The Diviners, and one of my former students, Reese Booker, we killed off a lot. Bridget Tamas has been killed off in Still Magnolias, and now we have Bo.
Yep, it's an elite group.
It's an elite group.
Girls.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Bo.
How about you? Now, Eric, you jumped in as an understudy, supposed to be coming on for the last two shows as an understudy, but you ended up having to take over the whole entire run due to COVID. Poor Paul. But so how has it been for you just bum rushed into this ensemble that has already been working together?
Well, it was a little intimidating at first because, you know, I knew everyone, especially when I got to the first rehearsal. I'm like, I really need to catch up. Like, these people know their lines. like I have to get on point very fast. But no, it's been, like Corinna said, like I've seen her in production. I've never had a chance to work with her, so it's great working with you. I wish we had some scenes together, but maybe another time. Yeah, it's always great working with Jacob. I haven't shared a stage with Richard. He directed us in 12 Angry Juries. He had a small part, but so this is my first time being on stage with him. And then when I got to rehearsal and saw Bo's energy, it was just motivation from there. She motivated. She provided
Yeah,
You better bring it too. Like,
yeah. She's on fire and probably the sweetest thing on the face of the planet. But the energy is great. I love that you were able to just jump in, and even though it may have been intimidating, it did not show. So
thank
good
you.
job there. But you were able to jump in, and both of you play multiple roles. So for Eric, you play 2. Corinna, I lost count.
7. I think I play like 7. Like, I don't know.
But they're all little bits and pieces here and there, because one role, Eric, that you have is Rudyard, that is only seen in the very first scene.
Yes.
That's all we get of Rudyard.
That's it.
That's all we get of him. And then you come back as this, there's no nice way of saying it, this asshole of a doctor, Dr. Mays, who's supposed to take care of Emma. And what the difference between the two? How are you able to flip-flop like that? You got some time in between. That's for sure.
I definitely have time in between. A lot of time in between. But I guess with the doctor, I'm going to defend my character. So okay. I think he's brutally honest. I don't think he's an asshole. I can't give too much away. But if you listen to what he's saying, like, I've already said this, and he can't come out straight as a doctor and say, I don't want to give it away again. But you know, doctors can only say so much, or without directly saying it. Right. One of the lines comes to mind is there's always a chance. So a lot of times he can't give definitive answers to Paige's character, but right. He is telling her like what's about, or the chances of what's about to go down. So I kind of just gave him a backstory. Like, he's a very busy doctor. He is a caring doctor, but from my point of view, I don't think he's being an asshole. I'm going to defend the doctor.
I can see that, only because Paige's character Aurora is so demanding and so complex. And so complex, and so I can see from the doctor's point of view that okay, here she come, she come. But meanwhile, like, as a mom, like, and watching how Paige does that, I'm like, yo, just give her some answers.
Right. From her character side, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Now, I might have been a little mean because he talked to my nurse the way he did. I mean, the way she did.
He's very mean.
You can't curse my staff out.
So, Corinna, you play the nurse.
Yeah.
I put up a snippet, a little clip of when Aurora says to the nurse, "Give her the shot." I put it on TikTok, and it has been like, the views have been ridiculous on that. And someone actually commented and said, "Well, maybe the nurse should give her the shot."
So, oh my god! I haven't.
And I'm backstage going on. Oh no, she didn't talk to my staff member like that.
Walking backstage after that scene, there's Eric just like, I'll get her.
I got her. No.
I got her. Don't worry about it. Next scene. I got it. So, Corinna, you play the nurse. You play. Act 2 is busy for you, I think.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So, but you also play Patsy, who is my absolute favorite.
Thank you.
Patsy's my favorite. Patsy's the best friend of Emma Horton. And we see Patsy at the beginning and the end of Act 1. We don't see her again in Act 2, right?
No.
Right. But Patsy is the weed smoking best bud that's there for when Emma gets married, and there for when Emma is thinking about going outside of her marriage. Patsy's there for her. And in the midst, you play Heather.
the nurse, Tommy,
Doris. Oh,
Doris,
Tommy. Yep.
and then
The
the random
operator?
girl, the
The
operator,
The operator.
Yes, yes.
and then Patsy. So yeah, 7 characters.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Patsy we see first, the best friend, and then there's Doris that comes out next, who brings Garrett Breedlove home. He's drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and Doris is a young woman that brings this American
Old.
hero
Yeah.
home, and he makes a pass at her, and Doris is like stands for herself.
Yeah.
And then you do have the random girl that says, "Hi, Mr. Breedlove."
Hi, Mr. Breedlove. Yeah.
We don't see her, but we hear her backstage. Then you have Heather, who is the person that Flap, who's married to Emma, has an affair with.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the best moments audience-wise for the show.
I have a lot of gasps after I
Yes.
leave the stage. After I say, bye, Flap, I love you. Just audible gasps, like, throughout. Like, they're just getting it to, like, it's clicking for the audience of who I am. And so,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
because they probably are like, who's this random girl? And then the I love you flap, it like clicks for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there
Oh.
was one audience member that speaks German that knew exactly what Hausfrau meant.
The house route.
Yeah. And so when you
Mm.
said that, I heard her go, "Oh no."
Oh my
Right.
god.
No. And so that was interesting. And then as soon as you say, "I love you, Flap," bye, and you go to hang up that phone, there's audible gasp, or someone says something like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
oh, oh no," and there's something every single time. And Richard said it best after our opening night. He said, when you hear those call and responses from audience members, that you have officially put in the hook and they are engaged in the story,
Yep.
especially if they're going,
Yeah.
no.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Heather, in that moment, the audience is definitely fully aware that Flap is not as faithful as he says
Yeah.
he is. So what is it like traveling from one character to the next?
It's very stressful having to like go, like, the costume changes are a lot. I probably get very mad backstage when I'm trying to take off my Heather dress and my heels to like switch to my nurse's like button up dress and put on my little nurse hat. Yeah, but switching between character and character is so much fun because I try not to. Everyone likes to say my characters are all sluts. That is like the biggest thing. We all joke around saying, "Oh, Corinna's like the go-to slut girl for the show." But I'd like to say that I do not think my characters are sluts. I do not think Doris or Heather are. I think Heather is just a student. She is a college student who Flap is taking advantage of. A young, naive girl. I'm gonna defend.
Defend your character.
Eric defended the doctor. I'm gonna defend Heather. I don't think Flap was being honest with her. Like, her lines are kind of like not showing that. But I trust my girl. I trust Heather.
Do you think Heather received some kind of information from Flap? Something like, "I'm gonna leave my wife for her," or
I could see Flap doing.
Yeah, like Flap just feeding candy to a kid, just
because again, she is a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And then Flap is in his 30s and he has like an authoritative power. So I'm gonna defend my girl. If you come see the show, let me know if you also agree. Like, let me know what you think about Heather personally.
Great conversation. That'll be a great conversation piece to have. Can you defend Dr. Mays, and can you defend
They're all watching me like, we've seen the show already. We're not defending you guys.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know. That's a good question for some patrons that have already seen it. Like, would you
Yeah.
defend these two characters and how they are? Because even with Dr.
Probably
Mays,
not.
No, they hate both of us.
yeah, I guess
Yeah, I
so.
don't think so.
Even with Dr. Mays, I think it was opening night, Eric, when you really emphasized that like your daughter's life is
Right.
in my hands. You said it really firm and rooted. And there were
Yeah.
audience members that were like,
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh, like who does he think he is? Yeah. But
yeah,
I'm telling the truth. The she's in, well, if it was a different doctor, she'd be in that doctor's hands. Like that's why I said it could sound like brutally honest, but I don't know.
I don't think you can defend your character on that part. Like, that was
Not that one.
not that one.
It's kind of
Mm.
like it's kind of like I know the one direction I gave you is like he's playing God almost in that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he then turns to Aurora and says, "I'm the last person you want to threaten."
You will want to antagonize.
Right.
Yeah.
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 My goal throughout the show is just to be less hated than Jacob Reed in the show. So I think it's an easy goal to have.
And you're the grandchild.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
Teddy,
I was
yeah.
Teddy, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Teddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's the name.
that's one of the funniest.
Teddy.
I cackle every single time.
For some
Every
reason,
single
I
time.
forgot his name one night, and it was me and Jacob Reed and Eric, and we were trying to think of his name, and I was like, "It's Billy, guys! Like, come on!" And then I was like, "Wait, I'm this kid. I don't even know his name."
I'm the kid. I don't know. The
Yeah,
For some reason, I
grandchild.
thought it was
It's
the older
supposed to-
one.
It's supposed to be Emma's youngest, Teddy. And I actually went back last night and I was watching different clips from the movie. And
Mm.
Corinna, the way you do it is very in line with the movie almost.
Yeah.
The Shirley MacLaine's face. Paige does it different, of course. Paige does it where her shoulders tense up and she's like, "Oh my God." Shirley MacLaine, the way she does it is her whole demeanor changes. So she's talking to Jack Nicholson, who's playing Garrett Breedlove, and she's like, "I like to get to bed early too." And then she hears "Grandma," and then she just
Just everything drops.
so funny. It's the funniest part, and whoever that kid is like your spirit animal. I swear.
Well, every time I do it, it reminds me of doing Buddy's voice.
Oh,
So yeah,
right.
so it's like taking me back to like 18-year-old me who's playing Buddy, and like my voice being so raw after every single show. Like I literally, every time I do Teddy's voice, like Rita can like defend me. She always sees me go like walk to my little desk, grab my drink, and then I say, "Oh fuck." And then I go do Heather.
Grandma.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So Paige said, I don't know if she's told you this, that's not acting in that moment because she never knows how high you're gonna go with the grandma or exactly when you're coming in with the grandma. So when she does this, that's real.
That's real. Wow.
That's not acting for her. It scares her every single time. Meanwhile, I'm in the booth like dying laughing. Like I've never seen it before.
Every time that I do it, I just hear your loud laugh from the like booth. And I'm like, okay, so I did a really good job today. Like that's how I can tell, like throughout the whole show, if I'm being funny, if I hear Tasha in the booth, I'm like, okay, yeah, right. I'm on it. I'm doing good.
You got it.
Like, I don't care about anyone else is laughing, but if I hear Tasha laughing, I'm like, okay, I did a good job. Like that's.
We were joking when I was talking to Paige and Bo in their cast conversation. We were joking about how during the rehearsal process, Eric, you weren't really around for this part, but Corinna at the beginning would do the whole grandma, whatever, and would come out from behind the curtain, skipping to come sit next to me. Like, I did good job.
I did used to do that. I used to like just do my little skip. I would sit, and then I would get up and I would do Heather.
Yeah,
back to back.
It was just hilarious. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous how much I still laugh at this show. It's probably ridiculous, but I also laugh when audience members start cackling at certain moments that I didn't think was funny. or didn't know
Right.
it was funny at
Right.
first, because each audience grouping laughs at different things. Like we were
Right.
discussing, remember on Sunday, we all were discussing about how they were laughing at, what is the part in the hospital? Oh, you, Eric, when they're laughing about when you're talking to Emma and telling her diagnosis, and you have this moment where you're like, but of course I'll
Oh,
call Colonel
I talked
Breedlove.
to Colonel Breedlove. Yeah,
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 right,
yeah.
right.
And it's right in this horrible diagnostic moment, and audience members have been laughing because of the fear that you had for Colonel Breedlove.
For Colonel Breedlove. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
so it's
kind of like how that moment was written because
yeah.
it's like it goes from a split second of laughter to very bad news.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it reminds me of Gabriel with the trumpet scene.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it has people wanting to laugh that he can't blow the trumpet, and then a minute later it just got real heavy. So I really like how that was written like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the playwright did a great job, I think, of really making this an ensemble piece. Now, I say it's an ensemble piece because it takes the entire ensemble to tell the story. Even though,
Hmm.
like you and Corinna, you guys don't have a scene together.
Hmm.
But and Corinna, you don't have a scene. I think the only person you don't have a scene with is Jacob.
I
All
don't have
right.
do I have like, does my scene count with Paige? Yeah, actually
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it
lying.
does.
I'm lying.
Yeah,
I forgot
the
about the
nurse and
nurse.
Paige. Yeah, the nurse and Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
then I do have
Oh no,
yeah, I
you
don't have
do. You do have a scene
do
with
I?
Jacob. The nurse has a scene with Jacob for 2 seconds.
Oh
The
my god, yeah,
fever.
I do
Yeah,
have
it's 2 seconds. So
I
you
do have one
actually
for Jacob.
you have a scene with everybody except for
Besides
Eric.
Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eric is
Yeah.
the person you don't have a scene with. Paige has a scene with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everybody. Bo only has scenes with Flap, her mom, Patsy, and
She's a scene
Eric.
with everyone.
Does she have a
Everyone.
scene?
She has everyone.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
has a scene with
She has a
everyone
scene with
too.
Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Yep.
two leads have a scene with
Hmm.
everyone. Jacob does
Hmm.
not have a scene with everyone. He never meets Richard.
No. He never meet. Yeah, him and Richard never.
Yeah,
Meet.
him and Richard.
Or Doc. Well, yeah, Dr. Mays. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he meets Dr. Mays. Yeah, so it's weird. It's these gaps for
Right.
some characters and some actors as well, but it very much feels like a full ensemble show.
It does.
As far as
Yeah.
like the energy that you all carry within the show, and how we do a lot of, there's a lot of set moving and prop moving and all that stuff, and everyone's involved in
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. It also helps everyone in the show gets along. Like
Right.
everyone
Yeah.
gets along.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets along.
Yep.
Everybody. There's no click, there's no side
Yeah.
pockets, whatever.
Right.
It's really, really
Yep.
dope.
Yep.
The energy is surreal. One person came to me and said, how did you get all of them to how did you get the chemistry to happen between all of them? And I said, that personally, that had nothing to do with me. That was natural
Yeah.
from day one. And even when Eric had to step in,
Yeah.
it was still oh, okay, come on in. It was very natural. It's a very beautiful atmosphere and environment to work in. And I think I've said that 1,000 times on all of the posts and comments from people. It's like it has really been a wonderful ensemble to work with and to grow and to direct and to aid in some of the huge emotional moments. And poor Corinna gets yelled at by Paige.
Yeah. But me and Paige have like such a funny relationship. Like we always joke with each other. So doing that scene with Paige is so hard because I just want to laugh in her face. Like I just want to laugh in Paige's face. And then also the scene with Jacob, I want to laugh in his face because it's Jacob Reed. Like how do you not want to laugh in his face? Like he comes up to me and he's just so goofy looking, and I'm like, I just want to giggle. I just want to giggle.
I do. Jacob, oh bless Jacob's heart. I think it's hilarious because Jacob's been with me since he was 16 as a student and now as a community theater actor, and but the quirks are still there of who he is,
Yeah.
And even though he's playing this really narcissistic kind of character who's the complete opposite of Jacob,
Right.
his tics still come through, like
Right.
physicalities still come through. So you're like, oh, he's not totally lost. Jacob's still there. Jacob's still there. He's still there. So it's really, really cool to see that evolution of Jacob Reed. Richard, this is my first time directing Richard Clem.
This is my first time working with him.
Oh yeah, and Eric, he was your director for 12 Angry Jurors.
For 12 Angry Jurors, right? And he just had that one little scene at the beginning. Yeah.
And it was the same for Paige. It was almost like a 12 Angry Jurors reunion on Saturday.
Yeah. With Jacob, Paige, and myself. Yeah.
Jacob, Paige.
12 Angry Jurors too.
Yeah. And then Saul came to see it on Saturday night, and he was in 12 Angry Jurors. So so it's pretty neat. It was great working with him as an actor. Eric, this was the first time where I've directed you, and it wasn't like a huge characterization or deep character need, because your first role with me was Gabriel in Fences.
The best.
Let's
the
just
best.
We either go hard or go home, you know.
Whatever.
And that I people still talk about that role to this day. People that have seen Fences, the character that they remember the most is Gabriel and his horn. And
I love that guy.
It's such a good character.
I really do love him.
And then for Corinna, the first role I directed you in was in Divine.
The first one, I was gonna say.
Really?
I've only done two shows. Yeah, this is my second one with Tasha.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was the first one I directed Corinna in, and both of them. So sorry, you guys. I give you hard roles.
It was so much fun coming into it and like having that be my first role with you. And then this role was such a different experience because I auditioned originally for Emma.
Right.
And now looking back at it, I cannot see myself. Like, I'm definitely more of a Patsy than I am as an Emma. I just couldn't see myself in a different role other than Patsy.
Patsy for the end of Act 1 gets the most laughs.
Yeah,
I think out of any other scene, and of course your ad libs help there a lot.
Right.
I would like to thank you for letting me ad lib. I don't have that many lines, but if you add the ad libs I throw in there, it just makes it so much better. So I would like to thank you for giving me that artistic freedom to ad lib a good fuck, a good Jesus God, Emma, what the hell? Letting me switch a line from like Iowa to Ohio just to get like funnier. Adding shitty fucking weed. Like, you let me take the reins with Patsy and kind of do my own thing. Man. Wayside Inn.
I know we added there's Easter eggs all throughout the show. Yeah. We do mention Wayside Inn at one point in time. We also mention a show that was done by another director.
That's what Jacob references.
Yeah. Yeah, we make so many little Easter egg references in the show, and it's
only that we'll get, and like one other audience member.
Yeah. Sunday, Jacob decided to use that show.
The only one was Kat.
Yeah, the only person I got it was Kat.
So Kat laughed, and then I started busting out laughing because Kat is the only one laughing, and the audience is like,
"No audience."
Okay, I was backstage, like, they're having like a laugh off right now. Like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. Let me tell you, when Patsy said the Wayside Inn, the very overnight, you had at least a good 30-second laugh there because there were so many people.
I had to stop talking. Me and Emma had to like,
yeah. because people just cracked up. They weren't expecting it. And I love Easter eggs from local things or things happening, because then it's our show. It makes it our show.
Right.
And I think the ad-libs are great because for you and Bo, you guys in real life are polar opposites as well.
Yeah.
And but you guys feed off of each other's energy, which is really, really good. And so when you bring it to the stage, it's just like y'all have been best friends all year.
Yeah, Bo is such a good scene partner to have because Bo is always on it. Like I could be having a really bad day, but Bo's on it, and her energy brings my energy up working with her. So she's just been like so good to work with and be a scene partner with, because she's always on it, and she's like always in a good mood. So she's really perfect to work with.
Yeah, she's really great at communicating non-verbally to her fellow actor. And one thing that I don't know if y'all, I don't know, when I did a huge lecture to Jacob Reed one time, and just telling him that she gives you so much, use it. And you, Corinna, you use it. Whatever she gives you, you're using it. And it makes your relationship look real. A patron that came last weekend said, it's like being a fly on the wall. It wasn't like watching a show. It wasn't like watching Netflix. I literally felt like a fly on the wall in these people's lives. So that hook and bait, all of that chemistry and relationship building that is happening, you guys have worked extremely hard to create that and make that happen. Eric, I love the little chuckles at the very beginning for Rudyard when he's like, the baby's asleep. She's asleep. And
the baby is asleep.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I don't know if the laughs are from, because I heard Will Speakman laugh a little bit at that at the beginning. And so I don't know if that's like someone
I know
can relate to that.
Right.
Or even just the ridiculousness off of the bat, from the
off the back. Right.
So it's great. How has it been for you guys, audience wise? Like when your audience is there, and they're there with you, that's for sure. How has that energy been for you guys? Has it taken anything from you? Does it add anything for you?
I think it personally for me, that audience's energy really matters. Like if they are like laughing at my jokes, then I am going to keep on delivering like 10 times harder because I want the bigger laugh. And usually we all joke about like the first night audience being like the worst. I don't think we've had a bad audience yet.
No.
Every single audience has been really, really good.
Really engaged, yeah.
Yeah, really engaged and crazy. How about for you, Eric?
It's kind of half and half. Like I try to tune out the audience, but I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say like when I hear audience feedback, it gives you something. It's a fulfilling feeling. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it can give you something, and you are not relying on it.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's like it definitely feels great. But I'm not relying on it. Right.
Every
time I do the wayside in joke, I do have to turn around because the audience is laughing so much that I start to laugh too. So I have to like turn around and like face the counter so they can't tell I'm like laughing as well, because they've just been really good audiences so far.
Right.
Yeah, because usually
they have.
Usually it can flip-flop between Friday and Saturday. One of them are usually a dud, whether it's the people coming from work and coming to a show and they're just like, or Sundays are usually the quietest. Like there's not a whole lot of call and response, but
it's been,
every show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
audience has been phenomenal for each and every single show. There hasn't been a dead audience yet. And I think a lot of that has to do with you guys as an ensemble.
I mean,
it has a lot to do with it, because if we can't get people laughing in the first, few minutes there with this,
Right.
with the great writing that there is, then I haven't done my job. That's for damn sure. And so it's been great to be able to watch and hear people enjoy themselves. And then in Act 2, the drop dead silence that happens is almost terrifying for me. To what, no one moves.
Right.
No one
It is.
moves. There's no one switching their weight in their chair. There's no one looking around. They do not move. Every audience we've had, they do not move in Act 2. Do not move. And even when you guys come out for curtain call, I'm in the back with Amber. Start the applause. Now I see, like, as people are coming out, poor Jacob Reed's sister. Oh my God.
She was a mess.
They were sobbing. They were sobbing, and some people just lost for words. And the former head of the fine arts department for LFCC came on Sunday, and she was at a loss for words too. She just most of what she could do was just that. That's it. And it's been an overwhelming experience for me to receive that kind of feedback from people, that they are so engaged from the very beginning to the very end. And look, the curtain call, that's us starting it, because no one's moving.
No one's. That's us.
Well, me and Eric also started too. So it's like they either hate us and they're like, yeah, we're not clapping. These are like two of the bitchiest characters.
We come out first too.
Yeah, they come out first. So they're kind of like, why is and they last saw me as Heather and him as Dr. Bay. So they're like, I don't care. And the nurse.
No, I don't think that's what it is. And I honestly think they
get them out of the way.
Yeah, get them off the stage.
I think the biggest part of it, though, to be honest, I don't care for the ending. I'm gonna be real honest. How it just drops at the very end. And I really think for a lot of folks, if they're anything like me, it's like, that's it.
Right.
That's it. Like, what's next? What's next? And I'm very curious to see if this playwright will adapt the sequel to Terms of Endearment, which is Evening Star.
I hope so.
Oh, really?
Patsy has a bigger role in that.
Yeah, Patsy does have a bigger role in that. Patsy and Aurora hate each other at that point.
Yeah.
They're fighting over the
There's
kids.
a sequel. I didn't know
There's
that.
A sequel. Yeah, it's called The Evening Star. And it's actually, I love Terms of Endearment, but Evening Star is probably my favorite.
So it's just a book at this point, or is it
a movie?
It's a movie.
Terms of Endearment is a book. It is a book that was turned into a screenplay and then turned into a play. Right. Evening Star, I don't know if Evening Star is the sequel to the book or not. I would have to look as a book, but as a movie, it is a sequel. And
as the movie is just okay.
Yeah, and it does have Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson in it. It also has what's her name?
Who played Melanie? Because she's kind of
Melanie is played by what's the actress's name? Juliet.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I remember her from Enough. She did the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez.
I think she's in a new series too called Yellow Jackets on Stars.
She also did one of my favorite movies called The Other Sister with Diane Keaton, where she played a special needs sister.
Juliette Lewis.
That's it.
That's it. Juliette Lewis. She plays Melanie. It really is a great. It's a great movie. The mom from Happy Days plays the maid Rosie.
Mm.
I don't know.
I
who
can't
that
remember
is.
her name either, but I just remember her being so cute. So yeah, so it's a great cast. And I totally forgot that Danny DeVito was in Terms of Endearment, the movie.
I forgot who he plays. I haven't seen the movie in years.
Yeah,
does he play the doctor? I think he plays the doctor.
No, he plays one of
little asshole.
Right. He plays one of Aurora's suitors. He's like one of the guys that's trying to bark up Aurora's tree.
He's not the doctor.
Okay.
No, he's not the
Danny
doctor.
DeVito is not the doctor.
No, he's not the doctor. I totally forgot when I went back and watched it. I was like, yo, Danny DeVito is in here. So yeah, Jack Nicholson was perfect for that role. Y'all know Richard Gere was supposed to have it. So was Harrison Ford.
For
Gary Breedlove. Oh, that was depressing what you just said, Corinna.
I'm young.
That means nothing.
I was about to say officer and a gentleman. He'd be like, that doesn't mean anything in it.
But he did get to work with Deborah Winger in that one. Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Richard Gere, Harrison Ford, and somebody else was offered the role, but they all turned it down. Yeah, they all turned it down. And I'm pretty sure, no, that's wrong. I thought Meg Ryan was offered the role of Emma. No, she was offered the role of Shelby in Still Magnolias, but Julia Roberts took it.
I do know, before the hate comments start arriving, I do know who Richard Gere is. He was in Chicago. I got a little scared there.
Chicago.
You recognize
that. I might have gotten some hate comments, not knowing who Richard Gere was, but I do. So
I've been in love with Richard Gere since I was a little girl. I saw him in Lancelot with Julia Osmond and Sean Connery. So that's when I fell in love with Richard Gere. And then I was scared of Richard Gere when he played in the thriller What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, that was weird. Anywho, but yeah, so yeah, it's just a great show. And I really hope Evening Star becomes a play because we'll have to do it.
That'll be nice.
Well, is there anything that I've left out that you guys want to say or let the audience know about Terms of Endearment?
Find out more this upcoming weekend when you can watch the show. Go buy tickets.
Yeah, go get tickets. Go get tickets. We'll have the link posted for you guys, and we want you to come and see the show and see how great it is, and come meet Corinna and come meet Eric Lee and
come out.
Get to know them as Dr. Mace and Patsy and the other
and let us know if our characters are awful and you hate us at the end of the show. They can't be defended.
Yeah, come see if their characters, Heather and Dr. Mays, can be defended.
Possibly.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to let you guys go off and talk to the audience for one last moment. Thanks so much. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another Cast Conversations with Corinna Taylor and Eric Lee Santaful. They are so hilarious. This is probably the one, my cheeks hurt very, very much so from laughing so hard. So grateful for both of them for not only just being in the ensemble, for joining us today. And I hope you come out to see Terms of Endearment, adapted by Dan Gordon, directed by moi, at Laurel Ridge Community College, formerly known as Lord Fairfax Community College, May 27th through the 29th. Friday and Saturday shows are at 7 p.m. and our Sunday performance is our last performance on the 29th at 3 p.m. We are so happy that we were finally able to make it, and we couldn't have done it without any of you. So join us this weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.